In this video, we will be taking a look at 10 upcoming PC games you'll spend over 50 hours on. Let's get right into this with number 10. Number 10 is Kingdom Come Deliverance. Developed by Warhorse Studios, Kingdom Come Deliverance is an open-world RPG set in the 15th century medieval Kingdom of Bohemia. The game will have branching quest lines and a highly interactive world encouraging emergent and dynamic gameplay. Kingdom Come will also feature a classless RPG system allowing you to customize your skills in any way that you want. So there's many different ways to play through the game, warranting a lot of replayability. The game is also running on the CryEngine, so expect the final product to look really good.
Mi van? Begyulladtál? Pokolba jutsz. Bazd meg!
Number 9, Deus Ex Mankind Divided. While a single playthrough of Deus Ex Mankind Divided probably won't take you 50 hours, if this game is anything like Human Revolution, it'll warrant a lot of replayability. With multiple difficulty settings and a variety of different ways to play the game, each playthrough can seem like a different experience. Do you want to go guns blazing? Do you want to hack in and disable all the cameras? Do you want to upgrade your strength so you can move a big crate and use a secret passageway? There's a lot of options in the Deus Ex games, not to mention the game will feature several side quests and additional content, so if you're trying to get the most out of the game possible, you'll be spending a lot of time on it.
You should take a better position!
Number 8, Mass Effect Andromeda. Mass Effect Andromeda is a game we still don't know much about. All we've seen is a CGI trailer, but if any of the previous Mass Effect games are something to go off of, you're going to be spending a lot of time in Andromeda. Mass Effect is another game that just playing the single player through on the normal difficulty isn't going to take you 50 hours. But with all the dialogue options, branching quest lines, extra content, multiple difficulties, and I can go on, there is a ton of replayability in the Mass Effect games. The majority of people I know never play any of the Mass Effect games just one time through, because a second playthrough gives you so much extra content that it's almost a new experience. Number 7, Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls has become one of the more popular games on PC, and rightfully so. The games are a fantastic blend of action, role-playing, and of course the challenging gameplay. To newcomers, a single playthrough of Dark Souls 3 is going to take you a while because you're going to die, and die a lot. However, the games never feel frustrating to me. Whenever I die in Dark Souls, I could tell that it was my fault and there's something I could have done differently. And then when you do beat a boss or pass a zone, it's all the more rewarding. And Dark Souls is another game that warrants multiple playthroughs. There are a lot of hidden secrets and additional content in these games that you're probably not going to see the first time through. Dark Souls 3 is expected to be the final game in the Souls series, and it releases on April 12th. Number 6, Overwatch. Overwatch is the latest Blizzard game, a first-person squad-based shooter where gameplay is centered around using a cast of heroes, each with different abilities, powers, and roles within a team. Whenever I get invested into a Blizzard game, that game becomes the only game I'll play for months. That happened to me with Hearthstone, and I do expect the same to happen with Overwatch. I played the beta and I found it very enjoyable. I enjoyed the class-based gameplay, and it always kept the gameplay fresh and varied. This is a game that I would recommend to play with a group of friends. It almost reminds me of Rainbow Six Siege in a way that the game does require a bit of cooperation, and playing with your friends is probably going to give you the best experience.
Enemy turret ahead.
Number 5, Divinity Original Sin 2. Divinity Original Sin is not an RPG for everyone. The game doesn't hold your hand much, and it's very challenging. Some people that aren't used to classic style RPGs will probably get very frustrated with the game. However, the more you play it, the more you get invested into it, and you realize how great of a game it is. Now we have the sequel, Divinity Original Sin 2. Once again help funded with the help of Kickstarter, the game actually broke its goal of $500,000 in less than 12 hours and went on to raise over $2 million total. Original Sin 2 will feature 4-player co-op right out of the gate, and if you already played the first game, you know what to expect. If you haven't given the first one a shot, I highly recommend you do. The sequel releases in December of this year. Number 4, Escape from Tarkov. Escape from Tarkov is a pretty crazy game. It's part FPS, part survival, part RPG, oh yeah, and it's an MMO too. In the game, you'll be able to explore many unique locations of Tarkov City and its suburbs. Citizen blocks, a chemical plant area, military base, the heart of the city, private living zones. Expect the world in Escape from Tarkov to be very expansive and varied. Not only that, you'll have to find concealed locations as well, reserved facilities, sealed offices, and underground warehouses. All of this while trying to find information to figure out what exactly is going on in the city. And at the same time, you'll have to cooperate with other players, but the world has no rules. Escape from Tarkov is one of the most promising games in a very long time. It's one that I expect myself and many other PC gamers to get absolutely absorbed into when it releases this year. Number 3, No Man's Sky. I've been excited for No Man's Sky ever since the game was originally announced in 2013. If you don't know what the game is, let me get you up to speed. No Man's Sky is being developed by a very small studio at Hello Games. Even with a small studio, No Man's Sky seems to be one of the biggest games ever. Instead of being a typical open world game, Hello Games is attempting to make No Man's Sky an open universe game, with procedurally generated planets all for the player to explore. It seems a bit staggering what this game is doing. No Man's Sky is expected to have a near endless amount of content, but there is an end goal to the game, to reach the center of the galaxy. To do that, you'll need to find better gear, upgrade your ship, and so on. Some might be upset that the game will be a full $60 title, but to be honest, if the game delivers, it'll be easily worth that. We finally got a release date as well, June 21st. Number 2, Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord. Mount & Blade is finally back. The game is a prequel to 2010's Mount & Blade Warband, and Bannerlord will feature a much needed facelift from Warband's dated visuals and content. The graphics have been immensely improved, having better shading and higher detail models. The character animations have been created with motion capture, and they'll actually be a bit more realistic. Gameplay enhancements include a new inventory interface, better AI, and the siege system has also been improved. Based on the recent gameplay that's been released, Mount & Blade 2 looks like a much more open game than its predecessor. This is one that I know a lot of you guys are excited for, and it should be out by the end of the year. Number 1, Star Citizen. At this point, if you haven't heard about Star Citizen, you're living under a rock. A lot of games talk about ambition and how it's trying to raise the bar for video games, but that's really what Star Citizen is attempting to do. The game is a space sim, a first-person shooter, an MMO, an RPG. It's almost ridiculous. Considering the game has been crowdfunded with over $100 million, you almost expect that ambition out of this game. Not to mention, Star Citizen will also include a very promising campaign mode known as Squadron 42, which is going to feature the likes of Mark Hamill and Gillian Anderson. I just hope that this game finally releases this year. It's got so much potential and hype, and at this point we've been talking about it for so long, I just want to play the final version. This is one where if it lives up to expectations, we might be playing Star Citizen for a very long time. So that wraps up our countdown of the top 10 upcoming PC games you'll spend over 50 hours on. What do you think? Do you agree with our list? Disagree? Let us know in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.